everybody, welcome to another episode of Fix the XJ6. This is going to be slightly different because I've got a few things to do, but first I just want to say thank you to the companies on the screen now who help support this build, and also thanks to the patrons who help support this channel and this build. Right, so today's video is slightly different because we're currently waiting on a new swing arm chain rubber. I managed to source one of those. Mike from Haslemere Motorcycles did me a favour, and this is kind of like a personal favour really, because I was only able to get the chain guard rubber from one shop that happened to be relatively near where he lived, but that place doesn't do delivery. So he offered, he not only advised that I might be able to get one there, and they were able to get it, because the problem is Fowler's can't get them at the moment, but this place had one in stock, or they could get one. Long story short, they had one, and Mike's offered to go and pick it up for me and shove it in the post and send it to me. Seriously, that's what the people at Haslemere Motorcycles are like. I know I've done work with them and helping promote them, but as people, if you're willing to do that for a mate, you know, he didn't ask for anything in return. Although I have to try and sort them out somehow. But anyway, Haslemere Motorcycles, legends. So the chain rubber should be with me early next week. And I wanted to put the brake lines back on, but then I realised to put the brake lines back on, I need the front fender. And then I realised I wanted to try and restore these fairings a little bit. And I wanted to try and clay bar them. And then I realised I had clay bar and I didn't have the lube. Long story short, we have everything we need now. Let's have a look at what we're going to test. So this is the front mudguard. As you can see, the inside is spattered with tar and stuff, and I'm not going to bother trying to clean that out. But I have given the outside a clean, but it just feels nasty. It's very rough feeling, like you can hear it. So what I want to try and do is clay bar this, give it a polish, give it a layer of wax, and see if it looks okay. This is quite an inconspicuous area to try this on. I'm going to try the clay bar on the back part here first, because clay bar can scratch. Well, not can, it does scratch, but it's very fine scratches as long as you use the right lubricants. I'm not an expert on clay barring by any means. This is not advice how to do it. You need to do your own research. I'm just going to test this out on this piece and see if it's going to do what I need it to do. So I have actually already cleaned this, but I've just realised it's going to be a lot easier if I push these grommets out. Honestly, thank you for your patience with this build. I know it seems like it's been waiting on part after waiting on part after waiting on part. It has been 3 months since this started, I believe, or maybe even 3.5 at this point. It's just because of COVID and all the other stuff that's been going on, the import problems at the moment. You know, there's more important things getting dealt with in the world. I'm going to cover those in WD-40, help clean all the muck off them. I've had this in my back pocket for a while. This is the clay bar itself. And the reason I've had it in my back pocket is to get it warmed up to soften it. I will reiterate here, this is not a guide how to do this. If you want to clay bar something, look into it. This really is an experiment on my behalf. I've got some auto glym, but you can use all sorts of other things. But this is rapid detailer, which can be used for clay lubricants. And smells lovely. I'm not going to go really hard at it. I just want to sort of skirt the surface and see what comes off. Every now and then, you fold it over. Okay, well it now feels amazing. It's really nice and smooth. However, you can, it may be hard for you to see. Let me see if I can adjust. Show you a comparison. Can you see here? I haven't done anything here. Here I have, and can you see that sort of mottled pattern? That's some scratching in the surface. As I said, I was expecting that to happen. That happens with clay bar. It doesn't look too bad though, so I'm thinking I'm going to test polish this bit with a compound and my drill, and then try a bit of wax on it and see what it looks like. If this bit comes up nice, then I might well do the rest of it. Depends. But it feels so much better. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I did a custom painted tank for Lex Moto Michigan. And when I did that and I clear coated it, I then had to polish it, and I used this, which is a one-stage compound, which you use with water, and you basically use it with the machine. I think you can do it by hand as well, but you just keep going with it, and it breaks down the particles, and it smooths out and smooths out. And actually, I found that it was really good. And then a polish of wax over that, and it was great. So what I'm going to try and do now is I think I'm going to do this whole thing, because I know this will be okay for it, and then see what it's like after doing that and not clay barring, and clay barring and then doing it. I did use that oversized horn for a while, so I have actually got a little bit of a scratch going on here. I might clay over that because I'm not going to make that any worse, really. Also, make sure you don't put this down anywhere other than what's completely clean, like a piece of paper or something, or plastic pot, because any, you know, grit or anything that gets on this from when you drop it or anything like that will be rubbed into your paint, so you don't want to do that. Oh, I've just remembered exactly how messy this is going to get. I can't do this indoors. Back in a minute. So all I did there is I had this running at a sort of medium speed, went up and down, and just got into all the contours and just tried to polish up every surface, being careful not to hit anything with any of this. And I'm just giving it a wipe down to get rid of any residue. Good news is, the light pass took that mottling out quite quickly. There's a little bit here, I need to go back over this and do a proper job. This was just a test. However, this is the side that I didn't clay bar. Oh yeah, there's a really obvious difference. So I think I do want to clay bar just lightly the whole lot. I normally use muck off speed polish because I really like this stuff. So I'm just going to try it on this after I've done that process and see if it seems okay. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Question is there any discernible difference between this side and this? Oh, yep, totally different. This is perfectly smooth and shiny. All that mottling's gone, everything looks great. So, I'm now going to do the same thing to the entire set of fairings. The only issue is, I don't think you can see the difference on camera between when I very first started and now. So it might be a little bit boring, so I'll kind of skip through this process, I think, but I'll show you a bit of it. But I do need to just go over all of the plastics and clay bar them all, including this front bit again. I know I've just polished it, but it was sort of a test to see if it's worth doing. I mean, this kind of gives you an idea. Yeah. Now, one sad thing is, because I'm going to clay bar everything, I have to take these stickers off. Jiggy Moto made these for me, and they've been on the bike for a couple of years. They are starting to let go in places. I think the other one might be a bit worse than this one, but these did amazingly well considering how thin a vinyl cut sticker they were. However, I also saw some old pictures of Divi when I finished Project Divi, the first series of videos when I took it from being completely stock into what you kind of know it as now. I loved that clean white look, and I want to do it again. So thank you, Jiggy Moto, for the couple of years of these being on here. I still have one spare one, which I'll put somewhere one day, but I'm going to have to remove these off of here. Note, this has a temperature control on it. I've got it turned all the way down. I'm not about to burn or melt these. And there we go, they are gone. I also need to take this indicator out. I just had a sudden thought. I got some bubble wrap so I can put it underneath the panels, so it gives me something to brace it against, and that's actually going to make the whole thing a lot easier to do. Hopefully now you should be able to see that's more of a mirror finish. I can't see that pattern anymore. There is a sort of mottledness to this paint and a pearlescence anyway, so it's not going to look perfectly smooth. But you can see that the scratches have gone. And this is before any wax, so it's looking pretty good. So I've shown you the process I'm going to be using. Doing the rest of these fairings is going to be pretty repetitive and boring, so I'm just going to get on and get that done off camera. There's still other bits to do with the fairings, including paint. One thing is this that lives underneath the bike. It's only made of rubber, like literally. I sprayed this once before and it lasted a couple of years, so I'm quite happy to spray it again. I've already given it a sand down. The only issue is it's too cold to spray it, so I can't spray that yet. And it's also causing issues with this because obviously the waxes are so much harder than they should be. The clay bar keeps hardening up. My hands are getting cold. I've still got 2 tail pieces to get done. And I also need to get the nose done. But I'm currently doing a paint repair. Where are we? Here. It seems pretty obvious now because this is primer, which is overbuilt. Because I need to smooth that back inward line. Because it had a scrape all the way down into the plastic. Into the plastic itself. So it was black and lower. I've also ordered a product that will arrive tomorrow that will allow me to basically like back to black these. Get them looking lusher and newer. This video, as it turns out, which I was hoping to have up like tomorrow, I've now realised this process is going to be 2 or 3 days over the weekend, getting through each individual part until we have enough stuff put together to do an episode. And then early in next week, the chain rubber is coming. I've got that confirmed now because it has arrived in stock. Okay, let me bring up to date. I have now been through and done all of the plastics through the whole process and polished them. So as you can see, they're looking very nice. I've also got the nose done, and I've changed my mind on doing the paint repair. Okay, so right here was a scratch. It was very deep, and it went down to the black plastic below, so it really stood out. I've filled it, sanded over it, and you can't feel that that's there now. However, the paint I've got, I think it's probably too white, and currently, from a distance, that's kind of hidden, so I might leave it as is and try and find a better colour. This might even last a while, because this isn't normal primer. This feels like paint. So I have 2 more jobs to do in this video. I need to do the tank, which you can see. I could take it off the bike, but I've wrapped it in plastic. It doesn't get too messy, so I think this will be the easiest method. Sure, the cleanup's going to take a little bit of time, but that's probably faster than taking this tank off again. Which means I need to remove this tank pad, and this GoPro mount and this sticker. Clay bar it, polish it, wax it. That will then be done. Then I need to use some black restorer on the black plastics, which I'll show you because I found this stuff on Amazon and it's amazing. So let me get on and get this done. Hot air gun to the rescue. Again, note this is turned right down. Don't use one of these that doesn't turn down because you can melt your paint. Oh yay, it's left all of the adhesive behind. WD-40 will take this off. That's annoying. Cool, well, that wasn't too difficult. Now I need to take off these. Come on. That's what I like about the GoPro mounts. The fact that there's just replaced this little foam square and it peels off nice and easily. Feels like new. I've never felt this tank feel like this. It's just so silky smooth. Awesome. So that's that done. And amazingly, the bubble wrap actually worked. I didn't really have to clean anything up as long as I pulled it away till the water dripped off. I had a couple of spodges on that side and that was it. I got away with that one. So cool. Now, last thing for the video. This back to black basically sort of stuff. It's very fun and very satisfying. Okay, so I've got this pile of black plastics I need to do, and yesterday I gave this a quick going over with this stuff, and if you compare it, you can see it's quite a lot blacker, and looks a lot nicer, and it's very smooth. The stuff is this. Never used it before, never heard of it before, just found it through reading some stuff, and it seems to work well, and it's available on Amazon, and I think I've added, yes I have added it to my Amazon store. If you didn't know that, I have an Amazon store that has all the tools and equipment and electronics and stuff that I use, and if you find it in there and then you buy it through that, I get a kickback. You don't have to if you don't want to, I'm just saying it's there. But yeah, this seems to work. So all you do with this stuff is you liberally rub it into the surface and you let it sort of sit for a minute or so and then buff it off. Why does everything smell so good when it comes to cleaning stuff these days? So I covered it with this and let it sit for a while, then I wiped it off with one cloth and left it to dry for a little bit, and then buffed everything. And as you can now see, hopefully, this all looks lovely, clean, new. I will give it another buff once it's on the bike, obviously, because it's a bit difficult to hold it and buff it, but all looking great. Hopefully you can see here that that is pretty faded. Okay, I just tried it on there, and yeah, it's come up a bit darker. I think this might need a couple of goings because it's quite sort of sun faded. But it works on those too. And with that, the fairings are all ready to go back on. The pile of plastics is all done. So we can start putting the bike back together. The fairings got done now, as I say, because I needed to do the front brakes and I need to put the brake lines over the front fender, and I had to get the front fender done, so I thought, well, don't get it all done in one go like that, and do a video on doing the fairings. So now that that's done, the next video will be putting the Hell brake lines on the front and on the rear. I also have the crash cage to put back on, which has been repowder coated by Solent powder finishes. Absolutely amazing work. And the next day or two, the chain rubber is going to come, and I can put the chain on, torque up that front sprocket, because I've got the replacement nut now as well, thanks to Wiimoto. I am going to need to get a new tank protector because my belt buckle will scratch this up. The last one was pretty damaged, so it obviously did its job. And then we stick the fairings back on, and she's done. We really are getting very close to the end of this. It's only been drawn out a little bit by getting these last few bits. I'm getting quite excited to get the bike back together now because I think it's going to look great. If you've enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please consider joining my Patreon. You get to be on the Discord, ask questions in the Q&A, get videos 3 or more days early, and a couple of other benefits. Please check out information in the description, also links to my merch if you want to support the channel that way. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.